shit we have to do. All right, hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of Top 90. This is a special episode of Top 90 today. Thank you for joining us. We are a few hours. It is 9:45, so 3 o'clock tomorrow. Trade deadline ends, so we're a couple hours away. But yeah, let's get right into it. I'm Garrett.
I'm Rich.
Thanks for joining us again. Yeah, so I don't know about you, but it seems like leading up to the deadline, this is probably one of the more active pre-deadline, just moving and shaking, that in a good amount of time that I can remember, right?
Yeah. Teams are getting it done. They don't want to wait. They know there is a deadline, and historically, you see most of the deals happen towards the actual deadline.
Yeah.
But a lot of teams have identified what they want. GMs have been talking about it for a while, and some of these moves that have been made, are they look good on paper, but for example, I don't want to jump too much into it tonight, but like the Oilers, they didn't really look like the type of team that they've been the last few months tonight. But it's a little bit expected. They inserted 2 new players into the lineup.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a little time, but you can't imagine the team got worse adding a guy like Henrique with the pedigree he's got. And, and then Carrick, he dropped the gloves with Olivier tonight, and
he's going to bring some toughness.
He got his ass whooped, but he hung in there, and he got a lot of respect there. And it's not, he's a good depth player. He's a grinder, and he's pesky. He'll get in front of the net and he'll score goals. So it's a really good deal for them. And I'm going to go on record right now because the last, I want to say many years through all their first round draft picks, their first overall picks, and how the team always underachieved and you never took them seriously. This might be their year.
Really, it could be. It really could be.
And I'm gonna, on the other side of things, and I'm gonna say something that's almost blasphemous, but like, looking at the way another team has been playing, and they're really committed to a structure, and there's certain guys on the team that I don't particularly like, but taking on a role, embraced it, being a team guy. Help me God, Toronto Maple Leafs. They look really good, and if they lose in the first round, I will really be just in
ecstatic,
a pool of joy, just doing the backstroke. But for real, they look really good. They look committed, and they made some deals too. They added Joel Edmondson and Ilya Lyubushkin a few days ago. So
yeah,
that's commitment. Those are 2 guys. Lyubushkin solid. And
but that guy, didn't the Maple Leafs had him for a little while, and it didn't really work out.
No, he was good for them. He was good at,
but he wasn't good. He wasn't good after the trade, and they're hoping, I guess, to recapture some of that lightning in the bottle, because he did play well. He had some injuries.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's going to be a bottom 6 guy. He's going to be like a depth guy. I don't know. I see Toronto as just probably another team that just doesn't have enough to get it. It's crazy to say it because they have such great offensive weapons, but even with an addition of this kid, I don't know. I think they're still, the goaltending isn't enough, and their defense isn't enough to hide the goaltending mistakes. And eventually they're going to have to go over the hump because they keep tying themselves to these players. So they're going to have to either get over the hump, or they're going to have to, I guess, break it up. Kind of similar to what the Oilers are going through. Like, if they don't get over the hump after making moves and changing the coach over and over again and bringing in guys and this goalie, that goalie, at a certain time, it's like, well, if you're not winning with these guys, what's the difference if we don't when without them, maybe it's not going to be as fun, but we can try and figure out, add a piece here, subtract a piece there to see what it takes to work. You always go back to, oh, you can't trade this guy. This guy's never tradable. Wayne Gretzky got traded. Like there's a lot of talk that Sidney Crosby might get traded. I don't think it's going to happen. Personally, I could really let's face it. In my opinion, if Dubas goes in there and he makes the moves in the offseason that he made, bringing back Tristan Jarry, which I don't know what the point of that was. Even though he's played pretty well, I just don't think that he's a proven enough playoff goaltender where it's like, let me tie my rope to him. Let me tie my ship.
Yeah, he's had good regular seasons before. It's
good regular seasons.
Yeah, he's done that. We've been there. We've been down this road. But like the whole thing is like now what they're all tied up to him. There might be a team that sees value in him.
Maybe, yeah.
But
could you imagine? Sorry to cut. Could you imagine? Freaking Dubas goes in there, and his first season, he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna swing it. We're gonna fucking bring in, the top defenseman on the market. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. On paper, we're gonna make ourselves look really good." And then they miss the playoffs, and not only did they miss the playoffs, but they fucking break up the fucking team. They already got rid of Getzel's basically 1 foot and a fucking toe. Basically, he's basically got just a toe left in Pittsburgh. The rest, his bags are already packed. He's out the door. So could you imagine Crosby too? His first season there, his fucking legacy is tied to trading away one of their greatest fucking players. I can't imagine that ever happened. I can't imagine it.
The
happens.
Second those two things happen, Garrett, like then you got to look like what do you have? You have a few more monstrosity contracts like Carlson and Letang's got a pretty big one. Malkin, he's making a lot of money. So what do you get? You've already committed now. Do you try to move these guys too? And start completely over?
It was kind of like a weird position for them because you have Crosby, you have Malkin, you have Getzel, you have these guys that are cornerstones of the team and they've been on the team for so long and they wanted to stick around.
Even Brian Rust is having a good year. Yeah. He's a good player.
And if you look, individual players are having solid seasons. Crosby is having a phenomenal year.
He's having a really good year.
He's having a good year. Malkin's still putting up some pretty decent points. They're playing solid. Carlson definitely isn't gonna. Let's face it. Carlson put up fucking walk year numbers. That's it. Like a lot. We've said it on the show a lot. Walk year numbers often are not the true indicator of what a player is. It's just unfortunate, but that's just what it's shown. And you can't. I mean, look, we're Islander fans. We say it all the time. Jason Blake scored 40 goals and then never fucking scored 40 goals again. Never touched.
Yeah, he got a contract with Toronto.
Yeah, and unfortunately he got sick. He had the illness.
Yeah,
and stuff.
He did get sick, and that was unfortunate. He came back, but he was a good Islander. He fit with the Islanders.
Yeah, and I'm not saying anything bad against him.
Yeah,
I'm saying like the walk year numbers are kind of like they're skewed. They're always skewed,
Yeah.
Look at what Johnny Gaudreau did in his walk year. And I'm not saying that he wasn't a good player up until that point, but he had a career year leading up to that season.
Yeah.
And he was the hottest commodity on the market. And this year, fast forward 2 years removed from that, he's getting benched, he's healthy scratched. So you don't know, I mean, it happens a lot. It happens more often than not. And, these guys, whatever it's, maybe they trade harder in the off season, they focus harder in the off season. And then I don't know if it's, they get paid and then it's like that whole get rich and then stop trying type thing because they already made it. They don't have to try as hard anymore or whatever the mentality is. But I don't know. It just seems like the year after a walk year, the year after a contract year, player is always just not able to live up to the career year he had before.
Yeah, that happens. It's a human nature type thing.
But anyway, too much on that because there's a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah. So we were talking about the Leafs and the Oilers
Yeah,
and
so
just some
going
of the
back to
trades that they made to pretty much better themselves, and
yeah,
we'll see how that works out. But now we have like teams like the Rangers, who they were hard in for Gensel,
mhm.
and Jake Gensel now is apparently going to the Hurricanes. So we'll see that when we
just to
believe
go,
it. But what I was gonna say, what they did was the Rangers went and got Wenberg.
yeah. But can we just, before we go back onto the Rangers, I just want to say something, because
Yeah.
like the Oilers go out and they make two very, very nice moves, adding Henrique and Kornick. But sometimes in the
Carrick.
begin,
Sam
Carrick,
Carrick.
yeah, Carrick.
I think you think at Eric Hornick, the Islanders.
No, it's Kornick.
Kornick.
Kornick, yeah. But yeah, so sometimes when you subtract two players that are, have been playing big parts of, not even the biggest parts, but just playing roles on a team, and then you subtract them from that, and you add two new players to try to take those players to get that flow going. It takes a little while, because you're just mixing up. Sometimes you don't want to mix too much with the chemistry, and you hear that sometimes too with GMs. They're like, we don't want to add too much into the chemistry, because if you take out a guy who's playing good minutes and he's playing his role well, and then you throw somebody in there, like, look, the Rangers added all these players last season, and for the most part, they had a pretty okay regular season. After that, they didn't look phenomenal. I remember arguing with a couple people online after, I think, a Senators game, where they looked brutal last season, the Rangers.
Right.
And I remember saying to them, like, you guys are looking to win a cup, and like you just added all these players. And if you look at the breakdown of this game, not just the score, just the simple turnovers, the penalties taken, the face-offs won, the hits, the fucking, like these like little parts of the game. I'm like, this is not a team that's winning a cup. Like, I don't care. Like, you are supposed to be dominating teams at this stretch. And like, I get it, the playoff spoiler and all that other stuff. But if you're a dominant team and you're trying to dominate and you want to fucking statement games, are games like that. And then there are even more statement games when you played teams that you're supposed to be like, we're going after because we want to beat them. So like, you make a statement and you beat them because you play a closer game to them, and you come out on top. Or even better, you actually can give them a little bit of a whooping, but even just to come out on top over that. But when you're playing a lesser team and they can kind of dominate you, and you're trying to, it doesn't show much. And then look what happened to the Rangers. They didn't look well with against the Devils, and they got knocked out. So I don't know. I don't remember exactly where I was going with this, but so sometimes too many pieces being moved in and out of the roster, especially because it is so late in the season, isn't the best on gelling it with the team.
Right.
So I think often it's just one, and it's harder, I guess, but it's often one player that makes a good impact at the deadline that really helps, instead of adding two or three players, like kind of like the Rangers did.
It's also just the types of players you add. Like, there's some guys that they're going to thrive in one location and not another, like we said. But there's also the guys that they just have such a good hockey sense that they'll get a feel for the guys around them pretty quickly. Yeah. So when you get guys like that, a playoff team that a contender that wants to, like a Butch Goring those years ago, he was he's not a superstar by any means, but he came right in, and he was exactly what the Islanders needed, and he fit right into the style, and
he bought in right away.
Right away. So like GMs, they try to identify traits in players to fit their makeup.
Absolutely.
The good ones do. Obviously there's ones like there's been GMs in the past that just add names and pile names up, and it's just like, it
doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Whether it's in the off season or whether it's at the deadline, compiling too many names, it doesn't, like, so perfect example. Like when Russia played the U.S. in those games, when Russia came over and played all the NHL superstars, and they put all the superstars together, and it was like Bobby Hull and all those guys, and they were playing against the Russian national team. The Russian national team kind of dominated a lot of those games because a lot of those guys were playing a system together that they came over and they played that system that they implemented and played it in the game, as opposed to taking 20 individual superstars from their teams and being like, all right, we're going to put you all together, figure it out because you're all amazing, you know?
Mhm.
And I remember there was a story and it was like one Bobby Hull is better than, one Russian, but, there is, five Russians are better than one Bobby Hull because they're all going to play better. So if you have five Bobby Hulls against five, Russian national players, the national players are going to win because they're just playing a more team game as opposed to playing an individual game, which the superstars tend to play.
Right.
So that's kind of that.
Yeah. In a nutshell. Pistachio. Pistachio is a good nut. It's a good nut. I'm a nut. Anyway, so on to the trades. We'll continue on. The Rangers, they added Wemberg, like we said.
Is a nice little pickup.
It's a nice pickup. They needed depth.
A third line. They're going to add depth to that. Yeah.
What have they done? Anything else?
Can I just go out on a limb here and say that
up?
this kid fucking Rempe? Can we stop with this shit? Like it's nice, good. The kid's getting his fucking shot in the NHL, but like
other guys asking him though. So it's not, he's not the only one in tag. He's not the only one going after people. He's been, other guys are, they're more than happy to go at him.
No, I'm not. But I'm saying, like, I don't know how much you follow on Instagram. Like,
I know.
I don't even if you even have Instagram.
No, I have it. I don't really go on.
But like when you go on Instagram, and like I was talking to a buddy of mine. He's a Ranger fan, and he even said it, and he posted it on his fucking on his Facebook. He's like, "Yo, enough of this kid. Like, I get it, but like, he's not like he's." Whatever, good for him. He's getting his shot. He's getting his 15 minutes of fame. But I kind of just feel like it's almost like he's not going to be the reason why the Rangers win a cup. And it's just like enough. Just get to the hockey. Let them fucking play.
Yeah.
Enough of focusing on his game-winning goal that like I could have scored because I was standing in front of the net and it hit off my shin pad and fucking ricocheted in past the goalie. I don't have an NHL goal. He does. So obviously, good.
Oh yeah, I don't like to go up into the mic.
So obviously he's definitely got that over, me and you and, a lot of the people in the world. But like, I don't want to go on Instagram and every fucking NHL outlet and any hockey outlet is like, and look at who Matt Rempe for it, and look at Mike Rempe for it, and look at how him, hitting this guy, and look at this questionable, probably definitely elbow that, wasn't called and he's not getting suspended for, and like, another elbow that probably should.
I don't really. I stopped. I blocked all those pages. I don't even follow that anymore because it's all garbage. It's all a bunch of people stirring crap up.
It is.
I stopped following a lot of Islander pages too, the fan pages, just because like, a lot of times, there's people you just don't agree with, and it's not worth fighting with. Yeah, I can't keep quiet. I see too much stuff that I'm just like, I can't. I gotta say something. I'm like, I don't do it anymore.
And here's my take on Islander fans and fucking the Blue and Orange Army and section fucking.
I like the Blue and Orange Army. Those are my people.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they just like the whole shit is obnoxious. The whole like, I don't know. I don't know. So many things have just annoyed me about that franchise and the fan base over the years. And like throwing the shit on the ice after the game, after game 6, that was like one of the biggest fucking turnoffs.
Well, like, yeah, that was bad.
Like there's a guy out there like doing his job, cleaning up the fucking ice, and they're throwing shit basically at this guy. And it's like, you fucking pieces of shit. Like, they're lighting up cigarettes and stuff. And then the fucking players are like, oh, it was awesome. It was like a rock star show. And it's like, yo, fuck, like, don't embrace this shit. Like, don't fucking embrace this. Like, tell these morons, like, you're not don't come back. Like I don't care. Like that's what you should be telling these idiots. But they're like, oh, it was amazing. We smelled smoke in the fucking building and stuff, and like we felt like rock stars. And it's like, what are you saying? Like that, don't condone this shit.
I don't really. I don't think I followed that too much. I knew it happened. I just didn't really.
I was there for it, and I don't know. I was and like I don't know. I actually it had like they Bavilier scored that, which actually Bavilier just got traded today too. No,
Oh yeah, he's on the list.
he's on the list. Which, so yeah, so I'm at the game, right, and I'm wandering around, and I'm in the lower bowl, and right before the fucking puck drops for the fucking overtime, I'm like, yo, I got to take a piss. So I go, and I'm standing at the fucking like waiting to fucking take a piss, and all I hear is just bedlam, fucking nuts. The fucking Islanders score like I don't know, it was like a minute and a half or 2 minutes into the fucking overtime, whatever, and everybody's going crazy. Fucking people have their shirts off. It's fucking nuts. And then they start throwing shit on the ice, and I'm like, I get the fuck these fucking idiots. I get the fuck out of here. And like, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. Islander fans, I think they're desperate, and they're just desperate for fucking any good hockey, and they're tying themselves to Lou Lamoriello, who keeps sinking this fucking franchise. And that's my opinion on the Islanders. And don't get me started about this fraudulent ownership.
We got Garrett. We got cranky Garrett right now because it's really close, and he just knows Lou's not going to do anything. But see, I can't say anything bad about Lou because I like Lou. Lou's my neighbor a lot of times, so I gotta like Lou. I gotta smile at Lou. I don't want to look at Lou the wrong way.
I liked Lou when he was like on top of it, and like people were like, "Oh yeah, Lou Lamoriello. He's you know, his draft picks are great, and his fucking his prowess is awesome." But now it's like he's traded away all his draft picks for his alumni fucking buddies, and he's signing horrible fucking players to terrible contracts, and tying this team to the shittiest fucking AHL, franchise in the league. Like the prospect pool is awful. It's like the 30th in the league. And reading about the prospects in the NHL, in the hockey news, and they're talking about how the Islanders over the last 10 years have produced like zero fucking like not zero, but like next to nothing. And as far as like top rated draft picks to fucking come through the system and do anything. And like, aside from Tavares, obviously, who was a number 1 overall, but like, other than that, what year did you show me? They drafted Tim Connolly and fucking,
that was 1999, I think.
Yeah.
So, it was, they had 4 or 5, I want to say 4 or 5 first round draft picks. It was insane. Yeah. They had one from Montreal, one from Buffalo. Was there one from San Jose? The one that they got Vancouver.
Yes.
But so like, they had all these draft picks, but we looked at that draft year, and in the top 10, only Daniel and Henrik Sedin were like notable. The number 1 pick was Patrick Stefan. Yeah. And we know that he was one of the biggest busts of all time. So like right away, that's not a good start. You look down, you look down the list of actual names in the top 10, that is, and usually you find names that are much, more prominent, like this far removed from the draft. Like it's, there's Hall of Famers in that top 10, and most of them there are. We have Pavel Brendel, Tim Connolly, Brian Finley. Did Brian Finley even play in the NHL? He was a goalie. He was for Nashville. Yeah. Chris Beach and Taylor Pyatt, which the Islanders got from Los Angeles, more than likely in that Palffy catastrophe. Anyway,
any old who.
So that was a terrible draft year, but back
to the Wenberg. because I
Oh, you want
digressed.
to jump all the way over to Wenberg now, man?
Well, because weren't we talking about him before I digressed to the Islanders bullshit?
Oh yeah, we were. So you don't want to go into how poor the franchise has done
Nah, I
over the
can't.
last bunch of years anymore.
I
No,
can't.
I think that's a good move. I didn't want to do it anyway.
I can't.
Yeah, I just
can't
couldn't
get stressed
stop
out.
you.
They
You
just
were-
won
you
4
were-
games in a row. They're
Yeah,
on a fucking roll.
exactly.
They're gonna
Gotta
fucking
look
miss
at the
the playoffs.
positives.
Yo,
But-
beginning of the season though,
This guy-
fucking Bleacher Report had the Islanders fucking over 92 points, and I said it. There's no shot the Islanders get 92.
I
points.
gave us no chance either. And you know, this is the only up until this point, I really have had no faith. And I really still think it's a long shot. You know, like the Flyers, like we said, they
the fucking Flyers.
4 points back from the Flyers and 4 points back from the Lightning.
But they got some time. They got some games in hand on the Flyers. I think
Well,
2
no,
games
they
in hand.
had 2 games in hand on the Flyers. So like now they have you know, the Flyers won their game. So
But then the Islanders
the
play tonight
Islanders have to win
to keep that.
you know, to keep back that 4-point gap. So the Lightning though lost. So if the Islanders can win tonight, they'll jump 2 points back of them. But you know, I think they're losing like every tie break
Yeah,
there is. So
because
it's pretty sad. It's
'cause they
like
don't
their
score
minor
goals
league team. But
they don't win.
yeah, but
any
they've
of
won
the-
4 in a row. There's certain guys that, you know, Patrick Roy has playing much better, and Matt Barzal is one of those guys that I've for
Palmieri's
years
looked nice.
I've been after him, and I'm definitely not going too much into this, but he has points in 15 of his last 17 games, 20 points in that span. He's been very, very good all over the place.
He's
making
been good
plays
this
in his
season.
own zone, and he's you know, he's being very aware, and I gotta say that, you know, Patrick Roy has definitely, if no other coach has, Patrick Roy has him paying attention to things he wasn't looking at before.
And you know what's noticeable is he's not taking a lot of dumb penalties, although he did take one in the outdoor game or whatever. He's not taking a lot of dumb penalties, and he's not like making a lot of like I'm going to hold on to the puck so long, and then I'm just going to like ditch it into a spot where I hope somebody's going to be, or I've made 5 moves and now I'm just going to like give up the puck because I'm skating myself into a circle. Like he's getting the puck off his stick and then he's moving, and he's looked very good.
Horvat's been better because of the way he's played.
Yeah.
Just because like Horvat's able to be a threat with Barzal, you know, kind of garnering the attention, but doing the right thing with the puck so that Horvat can do the right thing and put the puck in the net.
And look, right now he's 19 goals, 46 assists for 65 points in 60 games. That's the highest point percentage that he's had since his rookie season, when he had 85 points in 82 games.
Right. So he's on pace to get back
right
up to where he's supposed to be,
to where he's supposed to be as one of those top players.
Yeah.
And then you hope next season he takes that step to hit 90 points, because that's what you need from him, because all of these top teams have these 95, 100-point players, and the Islanders don't have that. And the problem with that is they don't have any depth to spread it out too much, because they get so thin after pretty much after their a lot of times after the first line, especially now that they've heavily stocked the first line, which is one of the things that Watt did. They have Barzal, Horvat, and fucking Brock playing on the same line together, so the rest of the way it kind of thins it out. You got Lee, Lee's playing with who?
Pajot and Engvall
or something, and then it's whatever. It's all over the place, but
and
it's working.
Cizikas is playing with
Palmieri. No, it's Palmieri.
Holmstrom.
Is Palmieri on the second line?
Palmieri is on the. I think he's on the second line. Yeah.
So whatever. Either way, it is what it is. Talking too much about the Islanders. Hopefully, they do something at the deadline. Give us something real to talk about.
Like we said, Watt. We'll see what he can do. He hasn't had much time. Maybe he's getting through, and so we'll move across the across the way out west where the Rangers, they added their Wenberg.
Yeah.
And they're going to be looking to do more before the deadline tomorrow. You know that.
They've been heavy. The Rangers and the Hurricane have been both very heavily linked to Getzel. There's been a lot of talk that. Huh?
Oh, we have comments on.
We have comments? How do you look at the comments?
He whispered it. You didn't have to whisper it. You could tell us.
How do we look at that shit?
We're not used to this. We have comments. But anyway, yeah. They're going to tell. It's probably we're talking too much about the Islanders. We know, guys. Moved on. Who is it? Is that Lightning Coffee Man? So anyway, can I segue for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I'm well traveled. Part of my life took me to Florida, where I played with a group of people in the Tampa area, and I played with some brothers, and I traveled with one of them. Actually, I traveled with both of them, and good guy, and he's got his own thing going on. He's done skits and everything. He's a big Lightning fan, season ticket holder, Scott Nightingale, and I'm pretty sure he's dropped in on our comments. But Scott, yeah, we're definitely gonna get you on for like an interview or some kind of like spot, because this guy is pure entertainment.
Yeah, I would love to.
He's
Absolutely
pure entertainment.
Love that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and thanks for dropping the comment. And we got a Lightning fan on our hand, and yeah, you guys always give us nightmares, always. So
yeah, the Lightning.
Yeah.
But when you were going over all the, I wanted to say something before, but you were locked in.
Sorry,
when you were going over
tangent
about the all the Islander fans and their behavior. I was thinking back to like Scott's videos of like when they were in the playoff series and they came up on top both times. He was very active in the skit situation, and as much as it hurt, those clips are so funny.
I got to check them out. How can we find them? Tell me.
Scott, you're obviously watching. Just message how we can find those clips and how anyone else who's watching can find those clips, but they're good. Anyway.
Any old two. Holy fuck.
We needed one of those. It's been a minute.
You know who I want to talk about, if it's possible?
Who do you want to talk about? Because I didn't want to talk much more about the Rangers anyway.
I want to talk about Sean Monahan.
Bro, Sean Monahan. You tell me what you want to talk about, then I'll tell you what I want to talk about.
All right. So I would like to talk about the fact that Sean Monahan was stuck in a terrible situation with injuries and all that other stuff in Montreal, where he was just on a fucking island, unfortunately, with not that great of a talent to play with. He had great seasons. He had some good seasons in Calgary, and I think with the team that he's being placed in, with Winnipeg and their fucking depth and their talent, I think you're going to see this kid. He's going to shine. He's going to play awesome, and he's shown it. He's got 9 points, 8 goals, and an assist in 13 games since the trade, and he had a couple of big goals a few nights ago in the third period that propelled the Jets to 2 late game comeback wins. And Winnipeg was already stacked. Winnipeg has got a great fucking team from the goaltending all the way out. And adding this kid might be one of the more underrated moves, because there's so many other trades that have happened. Getzel's going to move. Tarasenko moved. Henrique, and there was a lot of names that have been moving. Even prior to this, Hannafin was traded. I mean, so a lot of players, a lot of bigger name players, and I think because Monahan was coming off some injuries and coming off a couple of lackluster seasons, I think this pickup is going to go as one of them that are. If the Jets have a deep run, I think you're going to see Monahan's fingerprints all over it.
I think you're absolutely right. Sean Monahan, you know, obviously from the time he was drafted, very, very high draft pick, was supposed to be like, you know, a fixture in Calgary.
Yeah.
Didn't work out. They lost a little patience with the injuries. Then, you know, Montreal obviously saw an opportunity to flip him. He was having a very good year with Montreal, helping out that offense, helping out the kids.
Yeah, he had 20. Yeah, he had 13 goals and 22 assists for 35 points in 49 games for a team that doesn't really score the most and doesn't have that much offensive punch. You know?
Right now, and you know what? He's older and wiser, so like he's been resilient in that. You know, he's come back from more injuries than a lot of people, you know, could endure. And
so, like, I don't mean to cut you up, but just to break down. So, just as far as I kind of do mean to, because my attention span is very short and I'll very likely to forget all of this. Old video, but search Lightning Coffee Man, I think. Miss you, buddy. I'm coming to visit next year.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Set a date. I'll see if we can get the suite next to Lou.
We will.
I have to pull some strings, make my wife happy. So, oh, you're answering?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing about Monahan, like I said, he's just a threat. You know, and when he was picked, you know, people thought he was going to be a 40-goal scorer. And he's so what are you gonna say?
I actually have his numbers up because I wanted to talk about those. So his rookie season, 22 goals. Then he goes 31, 27, 27, 31, 34, 20. Then he had some injuries. He had 10, some more injuries, 8, some more injuries, 6. Now this season, 13. And now he's had 8 and 13 games in Winnipeg. So this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in his career scored 20 goals. 1, 2, 3 times he scored 30 goals.
Right.
This kid knows how to score goals. He's going to be a great.
He's got to stay healthy. But you know, and we hope that for him. He deserves it. And you know, for all the talk about, I think, aren't they talking about moving the Jets? Isn't that a thing, or is that just some stupid rumor?
I don't know. I can't imagine they move him again.
All right. Well, hopefully that's just a stupid rumor on one of the social media outlets I forgot to block.
Maybe, who knows? I doubt it.
But yeah, no.
I mean, if they're not going to move the Coyotes, I can't imagine they're going to move the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what they're going to do at this point. I mean, it's funny because the Washington Capitals, now granted, they played a lousy Penguins team tonight, but they dominated. They absolutely walked all over the Penguins. Top guys, Tom Wilson had a great game. Ovechkin had a great game. Dylan Strome had a really good game.
Yeah, that kid.
But the thing I'm trying to say about that is they're unloading people. They just traded a steady defenseman in Edmondson. They just traded Mantha. So those guys weren't in the lineup tonight, yet they came out, and guys like Hendrix Lapierre had a nice game. You know, there was a guy who had his first NHL goal, I think, right? Russian guy.
Let me pull up the stats.
Beck Malenstein, good game. They just had a solid game, and they have some names in that lineup that, you know, if they insert the right pieces, you know, they could be a decent team next year. There's no reason but they seemingly have given up. Sonny Milano, he had a good game.
Had 2 points from Milano.
This is the guy. I can't pronounce this fucking guy's name. Give it a shot. Miroshnichenko. Wait,
Miroshichenko.
I'm gonna stop.
I don't know. Ivan gets his first NHL goal. So congratulations to you, sir.
Congratulations.
Even though we butchered
3
your
shots
name,
on goal too.
And according to us, it didn't really happen because we can't even get your name out. So how do you know that we're talking to you?
Miro,
Not
gonna work here anymore.
Not gonna
So
work here
back
anymore.
to
So yeah,
the
I
Golden
think
Knights. They're
the Golden Knights.
they got Mantha in that deal from Washington.
Yeah. So
but
also
they're a second wild card. What were you trying to say?
No, because you were talking about how the Capitals are kind of trying to like on the surface kind of look like sellers because they're getting rid of some pieces, similar to the freaking the Flyers, who unfortunately got 2 points tonight.
Yeah,
but they're still they made a couple of trades. Obviously, they made that trade earlier in the season. Not too early, but whatever. They made the trade with Anaheim for the two young players, Drysdale, and that fucking kid from the USA team,
Cutter Gauthier.
Yeah, Frederick Gauthier. And anyway, but now they made a couple of trades as well to get rid of a couple of players that are in their line that are steady in their lineup. So
yeah, they got rid of Scott Walker.
Yep.
He was a big one, but they're deep on D.
Yeah.
And the way they play, they've established their DNA this whole year. You know what you're getting from them. Like they just played the one of the best teams in the league, Florida, like we talked about, probably the best team if you ask some people.
Yeah, especially they added Tarasenko, which we'll talk about.
But they shut 2-1. Yeah. Solid goaltending, solid smothering D.
Yeah,
they kept the shots close
too.
Yeah, well, they have a lot of character. They have guys like Lawton, Cates, Paling.
And I heard Lawton, I think, is on the block. I heard that
Lawton's on the block.
I heard there was some rumors that he might be.
I don't know. So if the Flyers aren't trying to make the playoffs, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they would trade Lawton. He's actually they keep moving him down in the lineup. And I pay attention. They keep moving him down in the lineup, and then he produces, and they got to keep moving him back up in the lineup. So, he's been playing on the top line again the last couple games. I don't know where he was tonight, but, they have Owen Tippett. He's very solid. And,
according to reports, Flyers expect other teams to circle back on Scott.
All right. Well, so they're whatever,
Crazy.
So hell with the Flyers.
He's not coming to the Islanders, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, they got their own problems, the Flyers. They got, they have some goaltending. Harrison's a good goalie. But are we moving on in trades now?
So did we were talking about Vegas, right? Do you want to
Yeah, Anthony Mantha to Vegas. So and Noah
they're losing right now 2-0 to Vancouver.
And they made trades, so. But they've been kind of underachieving anyway. Bruce Cassidy really called them out the other night or last night.
Yeah.
Was it the last night or the other night? But it was following their last loss. He said that they looked very uninterested, and he pretty much, I'm not quoting, but he might as well have said that. So
you blew it.
Yeah, they're a team. They're still in the picture. There's a lot of separation between the line and the eighth, the second wild card spot in the West. There's 6 points between those, and usually this time of year it's very close. There's 4 teams within 4 points of that line. So the teams are kind of speaking out who is going to be there in the West. Things can change, obviously, especially following the deadline, but even in the East, guys I like to follow, EJ Radick and Weeksy were talking the other day, and it's I don't even know where I was going. It was with the East.
Oh, there's more parity, maybe.
Yeah, well,
the race is closer because you're saying there's 6 points separate.
Well, yeah, with EJ and Weeksy, they were saying that they believe the race is literally between the Islanders and the division, not the wild card. So he thinks it's between the Islanders and the Flyers.
So he thinks, because that's a lot of people think that the Islanders need to get to third place. They need to jump. Yeah. They need to catch the Flyers
because somehow no one's really still taking Washington that seriously. the Penguins, everyone's pretty much written them
Everybody,
off.
yeah, because the Penguins have lost what 5 or 6 or something.
Yeah, and they just look like garbage. And they just, like you said, they just got absolutely walked on tonight. So
Yeah.
that's not a good look. And Crosby might want to,
I don't know.
who
I
knows?
still I can't. Crazier things have happened. I just don't. I as like not. I can't say that I hate the Penguins, but as a like I would I love to see the Kyle Dubas come here and have to destroy the fucking Penguins like he kind of did with the because he didn't really.
I would love to see that.
I would love to see it, but I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know.
Hey, look, I'm unbiased when I talk about hockey, but I am not unbiased with my emotions, and I will tell you right now that I wish with I just wish with everything in my hockey fandom that, like, the Maple Leafs just lose all the time, and that the Penguins just fail all the time, and that maybe the Rangers never win the cup again. But like, I don't hate the
those
Rangers.
are 3 things that I probably on my wish list as well.
Yeah, I don't hate the Rangers. I just don't want them to win the cup. That's all.
Yeah, when the Rangers were fucking in the Stanley Cup Finals versus the fucking Kings that year, I hated hockey for that whole entire playoff run. I had to hate hockey.
Do you want to know that?
Especially when they were, especially the Cup, I couldn't watch those games.
I bet the New York Rangers just so I would have a consolation prize. No, just so I'd have a consolation prize. Like, they won the cup at least. I have money. But no, they didn't. They lost the money, but I was like more than okay with it.
Yeah.
I was like, I would have paid more to have them lose
to
the
guarantee
cup.
This outcome. Fuck yeah.
So, but on other things, this happened. We got this news right before we went live, so I forgot to mention it. But Anthony Duclair, to Scott's Lightning. So that adds some scoring depth for them. I mean, they got playmakers on that team. That turns a guy like Duclair that ups his goals. He's getting 5 to 10 more goals on average per year playing with some of these guys.
How do the Lightning always find ways to just add players?
Because they're a reputable franchise. They're run well, and Yzerman really set them up well, and they've just been running well ever since. Yzerman is obviously not there anymore, but
now he's doing a phenomenal job with fucking getting the Red Wings on track.
Consummate professional. He's definitely one of the greater hockey people of my time. Anyway,
definitely
enjoyed watching him, and he was his favorite player growing up. Brian Trottier.
The Trots, baby. How could you not?
So anyway, some fun knowledge. But anyway, Anthony Beauvillier to the Nashville Predators. This is Barry Trotz.
Barry Trotz
looking at an old friend.
Getting his boy back.
This is Anthony Beauvillier's 4th team
since
the last trade deadline, I think, right? Or in a year. This time last year he was an Islander.
Yep. No, not this last year, because he got traded before the All-Star game.
Oh, you're right. I was thinking Horvat was a deadline deal. I'm sorry. So in a little over a year, that's still 4 teams.
Yeah,
and I wish Anthony Beauvillier well. He's a good kid.
I actually almost there was part of me that wished the Islanders brought him back when he was going through all that. So he got traded to the Blackhawks in a salary dump, pretty much. Then he got hurt with the Blackhawks. And then he got traded from the Blackhawks to wherever the hell he just got traded from, to the Nashville Predators. Right?
Yeah. Wait. You got me confused. He went from the Islanders.
Oh, yeah. So that's who
it was. The Canucks,
from the Islanders
to the Blackhawks,
then to
the Predators.
Yes, that's right. He didn't go to another team from that because he was just hurt.
Like it.
He was just hurt the whole time, pretty much.
His feelings have to be hurt. Damn. Yeah. It's like, damn, no one wants me, or at least maybe it's like, oh, look, they want me at least. So hopefully it's that.
I mean, he's gone to a good
wish him well.
Look, I think when you look at teams that are a surprise, I think you got to add, the Hurricanes, the Predators to that list of teams that are surprised this season. They had a lot of turnover in the offseason. They also had a lot of draft picks early.
Yeah, I'm not that surprised.
And but they weren't. There was no expectation for them to be where they are in a playoff hunt.
I'll be real, like, and this is because I am a sports bettor and I do pay close attention to certain players and certain teams. Nashville is one of those teams. So I'm very familiar with certain guys on that team, and like there was guys last year that showed that they were starting to come around, like Philip Tomasino and Philip and Tommy Novak and Luke Evangelista, and those guys are actually playing well. Colton Sissons, he's another really good player. He's very underappreciated. Like if you look at what he does, and he plays second line, plays more of a third line type game, but gives you the scoring as well.
Yeah.
I just
yeah.
Not going to keep going on about it, but
no, I mean, look, they had pieces, they had players, they have a solid goaltender, but
Ryan O'Reilly, Nyquist, Forsberg,
they have
Yossi,
they had professionals, but I just don't think that their projection at the beginning of the season wasn't for them to be, because they were more looked at as a rebuild team.
Yeah, especially when they dropped Ekholm, because that's a move. You're breaking, you're breaking a part of your backbone there.
Yeah.
Because it was Yossi and Ekholm, obviously, is the guys who were, the top two. They moved them to Edmonton, so. But yeah, they're playing.
It doesn't look like Monahan's playing tonight, unless I can't find it on my.
Is he not playing tonight?
So I don't know if that's an injury that's keeping him out, or.
Well, I don't know. Well, we're investigating Sean Monahan right now, but while we do that, there's not much left to talk about as far as trades go.
Tarasenko. We didn't talk about Tarasenko.
Vladimir Tarasenko. There was the two big ones. It was Vladimir Tarasenko. Obviously, to the Florida Panthers.
It's a nice pickup for them.
Yeah, and he went for a conditional third and fourth. So obviously, if they
basically
do something in the playoffs, that's going to turn into like higher picks. Or if he hits a goal, I don't know what the terms were. But
I think it's playoffs. Usually, it's
probably playoffs. Yeah,
but we were looking at this. He's got 17 goals or 13 goals.
It is 17 goals.
17 goals, right? And he's a plus 13.
He's a plus 13 on a team that is not a plus team.
That's not a plus team. And look, he's another guy like Monahan. When you take him from the situation that he was in and you put him into the situation where he's going to, with the talent that's on that team, would it surprise you if Tarasenko, I'm not saying he hits 30, so he gets another 13 goals for the rest of the way. There's 20 games left. I think Florida's at like 60 or 61 games. So there's 20 some odd games left. Would it really surprise you if he was in the high 20s by the end of the season?
No, not the high 20. I think he could be in the high 20s. I thought you were going to say something higher than that. No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And I'll be real. When they are in the playoffs, I would not also be surprised if he was their top goal scorer. I would not be surprised at all, because he's just that type of skilled player, and he's got so many guys around him that are just gonna wreak havoc.
It insulates him.
It's crazy.
And that's why, like, to get him for basically nothing is crazy. It's
a well-built team over there.
It just blows my mind, just because going back to what the Islanders and Islander fans always have to deal with. And you see what these other teams are able to fucking make all the time out of nothing, seemingly nothing. They just make all these things turn into gold.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we missing? We're supposed to have an ownership group that's on top of it, and they want to win, and they want to fucking, they're going to bring a cup to the Islanders and the 5th cup and all. My thought process on that, I'm trying not to get back into it. I don't think the ownership gives one rat's ass whether the Islanders win 55 games a season or 10 games a season. I think they came here with one goal in mind, to build that $1 billion fucking eyesore of an arena, have a fucking foothold in New York entertainment. They went out and they built that stupid park with the freaking entertainment shit there. They built that stupid ice rink that nobody's going to use unless it's freezing out. It's all for the foothold in New York. I heard somebody saying something similar about the Mets and Steve Cohen. These guys, it's secondary. Winning a cup, winning a fucking MLB, they say it. They're businessmen. They're not going to make money. The Islanders, the owners don't make money off the Islanders playing 41 games a season in a building that has to operate 360 some odd days a year. Let's face it, 41 home games is all they get from the Islanders. They've gotten 2 playoff games in the 2 seasons. They're not making money from that.
I'm going to defend John Ledecky for a minute.
I get it. He's present.
No.
He's accessible.
It's more than that. So, like, he bought the team, right? And then when he bought the team, he vowed for change. And he did everything that he thought he could do. He brought in the best GM he thought he could bring in. He brought in the best coach he thought he could bring in. And from all of that, we've gotten close a couple times. Obviously, there were moves that could have been made that could have put us in a better situation. Obviously, there was, and I'm talking to you, Scott, 7 or 8 guys on the ice sometimes when we lost. But either way, we fell short. And the problem is once Barry Trotz left, we just fell into a hole. So now we're all frustrated again. But I can't hang this on John Ledecky and start coming up with like you might be right for all I know. But from what I know and what I've seen, I think that this is just, we're trying now to come out of it. And Lou, as far as wherever Trotz left, he brought Lambert in. Okay, you don't want to disrupt much. And Lambert thought he was ready to lead people. Lambert wasn't ready to lead people. Team lacked structure. Brought in a guy who is hard, a guy who is passionate, a guy who has a track record, doing everything he can. Hasn't worked out so far. Hasn't been the wisest with some of the contracts he's given, but they're trying.
Yeah, but I mean, look, they went from having a pretty well-stocked minor league system, right?
Yeah.
Say what you want.
It was great.
Say what you want about Snow. And I mean, I don't know if you were saying that time.
I like Snow. No, it was great. It was great.
It was very good.
I said it in a way like, oh, it was great, but it's not now.
Yeah. But there were so many things that this team had going right for it underneath what people thought was the joke of a GM, right? He was making some solid moves that were bringing this team into the right direction. Then we get Lou, and all right, Tavares leaves. Say what you want about how that whole situation went down. I personally would have liked Lou to have been a little bit more patient with the players and the system and not have gone out and brought in 3 aging veterans that took over spots for our fucking youth that should have shined, who eventually just started shipping away for basically nothing all the time, anytime he possibly could. And it's run the fucking organization into a spot where all I can see is just where we don't have light at the end of the tunnel. We have Sorokin, who, in my opinion, unless they can freaking change things around, he's got 9 years on his contract. Give it 3 years and he's going to want out as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Three deadlines from now, he's going to be like, I need to be traded. Like, I need to get out of here. Like, I need to go unless they can do something. But they're tight on the cap space. They have no draft capital and they don't have any prospects. And Lou is the reason to blame for that. And all you keep hearing is from Ledecky and all these other, from the brass is, oh, well, if you go into our in Lou we trust is above our board is above our board meeting doors, and like obviously it's not true. I'm sure they don't have that on the freaking board, but that's like they are so tied to Lou, and it's just like no matter what Lou does, they're just gonna let him drag the franchise back into the fisherman days. We already have the jersey back. They're just they're dragging it back in. And it's just like, are you waiting for Lou to die before you're like, this guy's not getting it done, and he's clearly not getting it right? Like he's given Engvall more money than he deserves. He's given Pajot more money than he's deserved. He keeps bringing in every ex-Devil that he can think of and giving them money that they probably don't deserve. You know, like there's talk about trading Brock because they don't want to pay Brock because he's not valued as a 30 goal scorer because they, because like if you give JG Pajot $6 million to do nothing, what do you give Brock, who scores you 30 goals a year?
Yeah.
And how do you break down the dichotomy? And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Brock Nelson, what is he, 31? Is he even that old? I think he's that old.
That's my opinion on it. I don't know. Maybe they do care. Maybe they did care in the beginning. Maybe whatever.
He's 32.
I just know that they're living on the fact that I feel like they're living on the fact that we got very close and, one or two things, right or wrong, we could have fucking won a cup or whatever, 2 cups, and they just believe that Lou got them that close and Lou is gotten it before, so he's going to get it again.
Yeah.
It's a different game now, and it's not working.
I agree that Garth Snow did a lot well. But he also didn't. Like he did a lot of bad things.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the guy didn't really know what he was doing, but he did know certain things, how to, but when it came to, the business end of things, maybe not so much. And like the handling of maybe certain contracts or whatever, maybe not so much, but like, all right, you want to say whatever you want to say because he's tied to that crazy contract with DiPietro. That contract was happening no matter what. Some people say that Neil Smith left because Wang was going to do that contract no matter what. And it was kind of like, I'm out of here. I'm not tying myself to this crazy contract for a goaltender. So that's kind of what the thought was, that why Neil Smith left. And Wang was like, all right, well, we'll just take the next best thing who's not going to argue with me because we're making this happen. And it was kind of like almost immediately, Garth Snow is the new GM, and we just signed, DiPietro to 500 years, basically. And it's...
I know. Can I tell you a fun and true story? This is a true story. I'm going to stand by this. Right hand to whatever you believe in. So it's trade deadline day, and I am just going about my business on a normal day. And it's, I think, like, nothing's happened, by the way, out of Islanders camp. Nothing significant. I don't think anything at all. And I get a text.
Not to cut you off.
So
not to cut you off. So this could be this year, or this could be 15 years ago, and it'd still be the same thing right around deadline day, and there's always quiet on the Islanders front.
It was pretty normal. It was a pretty normal day.
Pretty normal Islander trade
but
deadline.
Here's where I lost all my faith in Garth Snow. It's somewhere around 11 a.m. and I'm like, the deadline's coming. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And my dad sends me a live picture because he's out in Nassau. He's at a deli or a bagel shop. And he takes a picture in line, Jack Capuano and Garth Snow in golf clothes. I don't know if that's just what they like to wear. I'm not insinuating they play golf, but they look goofy and they look like they were ready to go play some golf. Look like maybe they had come from playing golf and they were getting a bite to eat. Bottom line,
it's deadline day.
It's deadline day. If you want food,
have
your assistant go get it for you, and you stay on the phones.
Yeah.
So like, I lost all faith in that. And if that's not credibility lost enough, and I was one of the guys sticking up for Snow all those years. All this time, we need a score. We need a score. We need a score. Yeah, let's trade Carter Verhaeghe for a goaltender we've never, ever dressed.
Yeah. But all right. In his defense, Carter Verhaeghe at that point was not Carter Verhaeghe.
He was Carter Verhaeghe as soon as he went to the Lightning.
Yeah. But I mean, there's like it's always painful to watch one of your guys go to another team.
But he was there.
Devon Taves.
They're like, no, you're not good enough. We're trading you for another guy that's not good enough. And then he was good enough.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. It sucks. It obviously it's definitely one of those things where it's like, could we use him right now? Fuck yeah, sure. Could we have used him all those other years? Fuck
35 goal guy.
But
he's clutch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just
sniper.
The guy also changed hands 3 times.
Well, the Lightning was because of a money situation. It's not like the Lightning were like, oh,
well, because he was in Toronto for a little while.
They had a wealth of riches.
And then he was on the Islanders, and then he was in Toronto. Then he was on the Lightning.
Well, again, those teams are guys those are teams that didn't need offense.
I mean, everybody needs offense.
Yeah, but they had enough offense, maybe. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I just it's hard to get on. I mean, look, I'm sitting here getting on fucking
golf shorts.
Yeah, that's not a good look. I give you that 110%. That is not a good look. It's deadline day. That's your fucking bread and butter. Like, that's your overtime day. You're in the office all day, every day. Like, yeah. The office should be littered with fucking coffee cups and fucking Moe's and 100%. Ice cream. And you and your assistants should be fucking calling every team in the league, pounding the phones. That's what should be happening. That's what I would be doing. But I'm here talking to you and one other person.
Yeah, I know. It's a shitty constellation, but it's not that shitty.
No, but the Islanders are playing right now.
The Islanders are playing. So we were talking before about this. We think.
I don't know. We digressed. They're already not winning. No, I'm just kidding. It hasn't started yet.
It started. It's just not updated. So we didn't think they were going to fare well.
Islanders are winning 1-0. Let's go.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, let's keep that up.
Noah Dobson. Yo, Dobson is the fucking man. Could we just talk about if we had
third
Noah Dobson,
in the NHL in assists?
If we had Noah Dobson and fucking Devon Taves.
I don't want to talk about it.
What do you mean?
I don't want to talk about what if.
I thought you were like, I don't know about. No, I don't want to talk about that either because, God damn it, I would rather have Devon Taves over Carter Verhaeghe. Just saying.
Well, it was really between him and Polak, and Polak's been good.
No, but I'm saying as far as like ones that hurt more.
Oh yeah. It's close. Either way, it's 2 great players that we let go. It's 2 really good players we let go. Really good players. Really good players.
Anders Lee with an assist. JG Pajot with an assist.
Let's talk more shit about Pajot, so maybe he'll score a goal.
Pajot, undersized.
Fucking, he's not even that good at ping pong. It's just the rest of the team sucks.
The rest of the team sucks. I think he cheated.
Probably good. He cheated. He must have.
He had to have cheated. I don't know. I guess all right. JG Pajot on a team that is already there.
Yeah.
Could push that team over because
put him on the Avalanche.
You put him on the Avalanche. You put him on the Vegas Golden Knights.
Even put him on Tampa.
You put him on Tampa. You put him on Toronto. You put him on
any of these teams that are like actually one piece away.
Yeah, that are
maybe 2
that need a depth guy that needs a fucking power play penalty kill specialist, needs a late game fucking guy to take a face off in a defensive zone. You can put him out there for that. If you need that, you go and you get Pajot, and it's a good pickup for you. When you're the New York Islanders and you don't fucking need that, and you pick him up at the trade deadline, and all these fucking dumb Islander fans are like, "Oh, we got JG Pajot. He's got 20 goals for the Senators."
Oh, that was exciting that year for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at what's going on with the Senators now. They're fucking dreadful. And guess what? Every team in the NHL has to have a player that's leading that team in goals. It's just how it fucking works. Somebody is going to outscore the rest of the team. It's just how it works. So yeah, it happened to be JG Pajot, but does that make him fucking good? No. He just happened to be better than the rest of the shit that was on the fucking Senators.
They based it off of his that year they were making noise in the playoffs. Remember, I think they went all the way to the finals.
He had a good playoff season. Yeah,
he was lighting up the lamp.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a short sample. We haven't really seen that kind of JG Pajot since we've gotten him.
He was pretty solid in that fucking bubble run. I think all that ping pong he was winning, he was fucking playing.
Yeah, his mojo was moving.
Play ping pong well, play hockey well.
That's the key. That's when
it's already 11 o'clock.
It is 11 o'clock. We've been on for how long? I don't even know. Hour 10 minutes.
Hour 10, hour and 11. You want to cut it off here?
Well, we talked about we pretty much talked about the teams that are at the playoff bubble.
I feel like we don't.
St. Louis. We didn't talk about St. Louis because they're right there too.
Yeah, I sorry to cut you off. I think we don't do a good enough job not talking about the Islanders.
Well, we didn't today. We
did
definitely
talk about the Islanders. I ranted about them twice. We ranted about fucking Garth Snow.
Got to rant about Garth Snow when Garth Snow's being ranted about. Wait, that made no sense. Sorry. Yeah, you see how small I write things? It's pretty cool. I get a lot of names on there. A lot of them.
How do you even see
I don't know. But middle staff for Byram too. We didn't.
We didn't talk about that middle staff for Byram. So, I think that. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, I mean, to me, Colorado, they had to address. They clearly wanted to move on from Ryan Johansson. They moved him and a first for Scott Walker and a fifth. So like. That looks like a lopsided deal, but like, no, they're moving the contract.
Yeah, it's a contract for sure.
And so they moved the contract. They had to replace him. That's why Middlestat went. I didn't like that Byram was the guy they moved because maybe they feel like they're okay back there. They have Taves, they have McCarr, they have Gerard. They are. They have Caleb Jones.
They're very deep on the defensive end.
And Johnson. Hey, Jack Johnson, not Jack Johnson.
Byram, he was a fourth overall pick a couple years ago. 104. Who the fuck knows? Who's whatever. He was a first round pick, fourth overall.
Oh yeah.
And
he's 22 years old, I think.
So that would put him at like 2008 and 19, I guess. Right? Whatever. Anyway, so
he's young.
He's another guy that is often injured. He's battled injuries, and I think that's part of the reason why he fully hasn't reached his potential. And maybe that's kind of the reason why they were okay with moving on from him.
Yeah, I just thought they could have gotten more for him.
I think they could have.
I think they could have gotten a pick tacked on for him because his value. There is a gap in value between high end defensemen and forwards. So
but I don't think. I think it was a 1-for-1 swap because I think it was initiated by Colorado, because Colorado won in Middlestat. You know what I'm saying? So I think if it was like, I'm going to trade you, I think if it was like, because I think
they probably pitched somebody else.
I don't think
countered with
Byram is valued as high as Middlestat, so I don't think they.
I value him pretty high. He showed his value tonight.
You're saying that Colorado should have gotten Middlestat and a pick for Byram.
Yes, I think Byram is more valuable than Middlestat from what I've seen so far.
I think you're probably right because shutdown defensemen are not always the easiest to come by, and he's also he's a He's a puck moving defenseman.
Versatile. So, he jumps up too, and he's very skilled.
So I mean,
he's a threat.
He's definitely a threat, but I think it's just because I think it was the target for Colorado to get that player.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if it works for them, that's great. I think Buffalo won big. I think they won big. I think, obviously nothing's going to happen for them this year, but looking towards next year, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, try saying that a bunch of times quick or even twice. He looks like he's on the uprise. He's starting to play a lot better. Mm-hmm. He's been very solid. He's sporting a pretty solid save percentage. But that team, you look at that, just what's built back there. They have Owen Power, former number 1 pick or 2.
I think it was
doesn't matter. He's a top 1 or 2. I think it was number 1. And then Rasmus Dahlin.
Yep.
Another former number 1 pick. Yep. Generational. He's on the level of Hedman pretty much what he looks like he's projected to be. Yep. Obviously, he's got some championships to win, but that skill set, that vision, mm-hmm. that kind of versatility back there, and that's 3 guys.
That's the top. That's the best. Was it the right side of the fucking right side D pair in the league?
They're set, and they have Yoki Haru also. He's a underrated Finnish defenseman. Very, very good.
And if you look, there was a lot of.
God, I hope he's not Swedish.
I don't think there was too much expectation. There wasn't too much expectation for Buffalo this season. There's still a team that's on the rise. Thompson hasn't had a great season.
No, he's down.
And that's
17 goals, I think, right?
Yeah, and
wasn't he with the rest of them?
Yeah, and he had what, like 40 something last year, 50 something.
Yeah, not 50. I 40, think he had like upper 40s.
Yeah, 40 something, 46 maybe.
I want to say 47.
So yeah, high 40s, and it's just a down year for him, and it's kind of slowed the team down. And but they're a team that next season, they're a team that's gonna strike. I think they're gonna make some. They're gonna be
47
solid.
goals.
47, yeah.
47 assists.
Yeah. So he had
78 games. He's played 53 games, 18 goals, 17 assists. Here's another difference. +4 after 78 games last year. He's a -13 this year. Now that's more of a team thing. It's more of a chemistry thing. It's not all on the player, but the player is somewhat responsible for his end of the minus rating.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know how many of those goals and assists were on the power play, which obviously don't add to the plus minus.
Right.
But when you put up, would you say 47 and 47? So it's at 104 points.
94.
94 points?
Yeah, 94 points.
Yeah. So when you put up 94 points, you better be a plus player. You have to be just by default.
Yeah. I mean
unless I don't know.
He's just so dangerous. You've seen his shot. It's so heavy. He's such a big dude with those long arms, and he's got some hands, but that shot is just a booming shot. Yep. And a lot, he had a lot of open space last year. I guess maybe they've taken it away this year. Maybe guys aren't getting him the puck as much. I don't know. I don't watch enough Buffalo hockey, but I'm gonna watch a little more now because I'm interested to see how this team's gonna look.
Yeah, didn't you say Byram had a goal today?
Yeah, he had a goal. It was inside the first 5 minutes of the game he scored. So, welcome to the team, Bo and Byram.
Yeah.
So. I mean that's hops off our trade talk for sure.
Yeah.
We talked about the playoff teams. We didn't talk about the St. Louis Blues. They're another team. They're kind of like hanging in the balance. Yeah. They have a good team. They haven't had the type of season that has them in a great position right now. They have to play exceptionally well to get, pretty much into a playoff spot.
I forgot. Now that you just reminded me about things not going well with the Blues. We didn't talk about Lindy Ruff getting fired from the Devils.
Yeah, Lindy Ruff got fired from the Devils. Travis Green took over. Congratulations to
Yeah.
our old friend Travis Green,
ex-friend, ex-buddy of ours.
yeah,
But,
you know, we wish him the best over there, and just not the best when he plays on Long Island.
But I just want to bring that up because I don't know. I feel like I know there was a lot of expectations for the Devils. They had a really good season last year,
Right?
Won a playoff round, all that stuff. They made some moves. They re-signed some guys. They brought in some guys. They had a lot of injuries. They're still fucking rolling out Nico Dawes and Akira Schmid. Like they don't have goaltending. They had a lot of injuries. I just feel like they pulled the trigger like at this point, unless like I don't read enough about the Devils to know maybe there's a lot of turmoil in the locker room, maybe the players are revolted or something. But with 20 games left, is Travis Green going to come in and turn around the fucking and make them a Stanley Cup contender all of a sudden?
I'm going to be real.
It just doesn't make any sense at this point. Like Lindy Ruff isn't the reason they're losing. They're losing because they don't have goaltending.
Right.
Most of the season, their stars were hurt. And what do you want the guy to do?
This is often the tale, Garrett. So Lindy Ruff is obviously a great hockey mind. He's been around the game for a long time. He's got a wealth of knowledge, and you know, he had them playing a certain way. But like we know, we see it all the time. It's the nature of the beast. Sometimes a guy just loses his voice in the room.
Yeah.
And then he can't get it back. You know, he'll lose his team, and he just can't get from them what he was getting before. And that's the case. But to be fair, last year also they had a more steady blue line.
Yeah.
They didn't have guys like Nemec and Ball in all the time, and there's another young guy, Luke Hughes, that they have in. He's a phenomenal young talent, but that dude is
not ready yet.
He's still a little shaky in his own end.
Yeah.
So to me, like you look at the Devils, and they're a much different team. They you know, the goaltending isn't playing above their head. The defense looks a lot different, and they changed some things up front.
Timo Meier hasn't looked that good.
No, he did tonight.
But yeah, I mean, for the most part.
Did you see him tonight?
No.
Hat trick.
Yeah.
And he had 2 goals against his old team. I think he's got like 5 goals in his last 2 games. But yeah, before that, yes, he was his normal Timo Meier play when you want to type self. Jack Hughes has been down, hurt. That's had something to do with it since he's come back. He has not looked
Myers
the same.
got 17 goals, 16 assists.
They were saying, well, Jack Hughes, he's been turning the puck over. He's been hanging on to the puck too much. He honestly looks like
21 too.
A left-handed Matt Barzal of years past. But no, the bottom line is they're not playing the same way they were. They're not playing north-south as well. They're not playing with the speed they were. And when they play and get in your zone and start to move the puck around, that was the Devils team of last year. Mm-hmm. They just don't have it this year.
Predators are winning tonight.
They are. What's the score?
4-2.
Yeah. So sometimes teams, they go through, it could be a big change, it could be a minor change, but it's a change and they don't respond the same way. And the Devils, like, they're not a team that were great for years. They came out, had a great year. Maybe it was a fluke.
Could have been.
Had a lot of good skill, but again, it doesn't matter how much skill you have. Look at Edmonton.
Yeah.
You know, it took them getting the right guy to get them playing the right way for them to put that skill to good use. And it seems to be working out for them.
So I think on that note,
yeah, we gave you the encore. We said goodnight before pretty much, and we gave you the encore. So we're real rock stars here.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time out to listen to us mumble. We're getting a little bit better at this. We're also getting a little worse at this. So it's a steady progress, and we appreciate your patience. So for Rich and myself, enjoy the next, I'd say, whatever, 24 hours or so, a little less than that until the deadline. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more stuff happening.
We'll be bitching about what didn't happen next week.
Yes,
Don't you
we'll be
worry
back
about
next
a
week.
thing. And Lewis will be here to bitch right along with us. Nope, you're stuck with us, dude.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. You're here for the long haul.
Sorry, man.
All right, well, guys, you know the drill. Whatever you do going forward, aim top 90.